Uh, like I
I,
always say, Tuesday, June 3rd, but it's not when you're watching this, so pay no pay no attention to that.
Unless you're watching it live on the YouTubes.
Well, let's see if it's even live on the YouTube. So,
did it do a
to you,
countdown for you
Trevor,
guys?
it's
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Weird. Didn't show me a countdown.
yeah. Okay, so it went. We are live on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, good evening on this Tuesday, June 3rd, and Rory. Hey, Rory. I guess I should
Are,
see keep
we have
this
two
up so that
viewers.
no, but we
Oh,
could.
we could
Those
have.
are our and those are our most likely.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, oh, so how about this though? Let me see if I can see this. Um, we had. Okay, I'm gonna have to open another tab. All right, go here to channel dashboard. We had on our video on our live stream last week. Um, 51 views.
Oh no. Everybody from my church watched it.
The entire church watching it. It's
Oh
gonna be awesome.
no.
Did you tell everybody that you have a podcast and now
No, I didn't.
they all
I didn't
checked it
tell
out?
anybody.
Somehow the algorithm found them, though.
Oh shoot. It saw that I checked the
Yeah,
church. It saw you
probably.
were checking the church service during the podcast. Is
Yep.
like, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if these people are related.
Mm-hmm.
We have a list of people to send this to. It made
Like
the
we should
AI
link it to that.
the AI made a Not Your Average Guys Westline community or Westline Christian Church Facebook page, invited all of those people
And they all watched
to
it.
follow. Dude, it is not far off from that type of stuff happening.
Doing that.
Yeah. It's crazy how
Yeah.
So you're telling me 51
Um.
people watched it live?
No. After the fact.
Oh,
after the
okay.
fact. That's got to be a record.
Um. Oh. By far.
On
I'm
YouTube?
pretty sure any other live stream that we've done, maximum has been like four. And
Yeah.
that was you
No,
guys, you two, and
there was
Trevor.
one
No, there's
there
one
was
with
one
13.
that had 10 a while back. I remember.
Oh, there's one with 20,
There you go.
18. Okay, still 51 is. I don't
It's a
know.
record. It's
I don't know.
practically
Those
it's a very
51 people need to rethink their life choices.
it's a
Uh,
very weak it's a very weak virus, but it's viral.
do you know? Yeah. Do you know out of those 51 people, like how many of them watched it in its entirety?
None.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can
Can you pull
see
up
the
view
analytics
duration
here.
on it?
Um, okay. So 43 views. Oh, so this is off a little bit. Gained 0 subscribers, have 6.1 hours of watch time.
That's
Okay,
kind of a lot.
engagement.
Kind of a lot. Oh no.
Average average view duration is 8 minutes and 49 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here and say somebody watched it all the way through then. Because the average is pretty high for only 50 some people. Which means if one person watched it all the way through,
Yeah.
it would give everybody like
Yeah,
7
there
more
is
minutes.
one person watched 95% of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it dropped down. Somebody watched 33% of it, and then it went right down to, what is that? %12. Well, and that's what it says. The average is 11%,
Yeah.
11.2.
No comments.
Uh,
Any thumbs down? Any dislikes? Just the one guy that watched it all the way through.
Yeah. Okay, so one returning viewer, 26 new viewers.
Why are these people watching us?
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. That's
They
per
were
day.
watching and
Okay,
going,
so
why did these people put this
there
on
was,
YouTube?
Right.
so that was on, what date was that? It was Wednesday. The next day, 27 people watched it. And the day after that, 15 more. And then it dropped back down. Then we had one 4 days later and one 5 days later.
I think that I know the most
Yeah,
about the YouTube
I don't know.
algorithm for anybody on this podcast. And
Okay,
but
I'm not going to
anything
argue that.
anything I tell you right now would be a guess, but I think it would be fairly educated guess. What happened is that, did you name it anything? Let me start there.
I did.
What'd you name it?
I did. That probably. Oh,
You
wait.
named it
No,
Dan
it just says Not Your Average
Ragging on
Guys Show
Westline
live
Christian
stream.
Church. You named it that?
Yeah, that's what I tagged.
Worship leader
tagged
rags on his own church.
Westline. Yeah. And I tagged Westline
Good.
YouTube
Christian
channel.
Church. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Okay.
So here's what
I
happened.
did put a. All right, I gotta go back to this.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my theory, and then you find
Okay,
what
I
you put.
didn't. Okay, I didn't title it anything other than Not Your Average Guys live show or live stream.
Okay.
But I did put a description in.
Okay.
Oh, wait. That
No
is
description.
apparently I put a description in at some point, and it just stays in. Yeah, that's weird because it says Jimmy and Darcy start out the show recounting the past week's events, talk about Chiefs home opener and whiskey. They're joined by Dan halfway through the show and discuss work, exotic game hunting, Dan's upcoming men's retreat, and fish in a barrel. So that's
Wait,
from
that's what it says every week.
some. Apparently, I'm gonna have to get rid of that.
You should probably
I didn't
change
know
that.
I just deleted it.
Okay, so here's my theory. I got a theory.
Okay.
While I'm telling the theory, also look up the impressions because that's important. So what happened is even if it was 2 or 3 or 4 people that had something similar about their profile, watched it or started to watch it, and the algorithm thought, we've got an audience, let's put this in front of 500 people that fit the profile, see what they do with this. And so theoretically, my theory would be that your impressions on this video would be about 10 times higher than on most of our videos. Like the algorithm pushed it in front of more people for some reason.
Okay, why can I not find? Oh, here we go. Oops, that was the wrong one. Yeah, that one has 0 views. Okay, so impressions. All right, overview, reach, engagement, audience retention, concurrent viewers, likes versus dislikes.
Reach, it might be in reach. I don't know how your deal's laid out. Yeah, if I hit the reach tab, I have a video that has 6.1 thousand
impressions and how they led to watch time.
Mhm.
So it says impressions 4,000,
We have about a
99.3% from what?
So you have about a 1.2% impression click-through rate.
Views from impressions. No, it's a 0.6% click-through rate.
0.6%. Okay.
Views from impressions 24. 610 average view duration. 2.47 hours from impressions.
Do you guys get on YouTube much? Just like thumbing through shorts or videos
Never.
or anything? Never?
I watch shorts. I was on YouTube a decent amount this past week and today because like looking at how-to videos for working on cars.
Do you ever find yourself on your thumbing through whatever they are, the shorts feed, and you find yourself just hitting one after another of live streams?
No.
I've had it happen 2 or 3 times. I don't know how it gets on it, but sometimes I randomly end up on these feeds where it's just one live stream going after another after another. No context why. I don't know if I clicked on something that ended up being a live stream, and then when I thumbed again it was in a different like folder, or what the deal was. But apparently we made it into one of those feeds or something.
Must have. And
we should make
apparently
some shorts out of the long video?
This software will do it.
I've done it. Did either of you guys look at those things that I sent you that
Way
time?
back.
Now that
Right at
it has like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-mm.
This software has a new feature, and it'll make us look like little babies.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me open it.
I want to see that because
really?
I actually watch Theo Vaughn as a baby all the time. I think he's so good as a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real
right, you
fun
see it?
watching
Here,
a Theo
Yeah,
Vaughn.
I want to see it because I tried to open the link and it wouldn't go.
Yeah, I want to see this.
To do something.
Were we saying
Let
anything
me see
funny?
if I can.
No, probably not.
Yeah, heck yeah. Okay, if I click back out of this, cancel.
Did you post it?
I don't know if I can. No, but it's. I'm trying to. Okay, so we're still on. I am just opening up a new Riverside tab. Oh. So that I can find it. So that was one of the reasons. Let's see, last week, no, 2 weeks ago, I we did a test run, just 1 minute,
Mm-hmm.
and so that I could do. Oh, here's Dan. Okay, I can't remember what this is, but I'll play this. I wonder if I can. Share screen from Riverside to Riverside. I may just. Here we go. Why can't I switch my camera now that we're rolling?
Shouldn't you just go
Apparently you
share
can't.
and share tab?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Except that I never get it to do sound
Oh, really?
when it does that. I don't think I ever have. Okay. All right. I'm going to go Riverside. I'm going to go share screen. And then I'm going to go to this other Riverside. Yep, there it is. Share. All right. Here's old Dan Mock.
Wait, I don't have a beard.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
And you're going to think this is crazy, but we basically just peeled out with the four-wheeler and used the tires to throw rock across the basement. We would put it in reverse. We would actually hold the frame of the four-wheeler to keep the front. So Judah broke the front brake grip, so there's no front brake. So we're literally finding it easier to use the four-wheeler to throw gravel than
This
to
is
just
too
rake
much
it
fun.
down the side of the pile. Okay.
Which one of us is
That's
talking?
pretty funny.
So there's two things that
Well,
does.
it's
One
it's
is
messed
it
up
makes
some.
trenches in the gravel. And the other is it actually does distribute some of the gravel. The trenches are especially useful because that means you've got a mound of gravel that your rake can get into and you can pull it and you can drag the rock.
Make it sound like we did something intelligent watching a baby talk about it. Like it was a real thing.
Oh man.
That's do I really look like that?
Yeah, that's what
You do look just like that.
That's what I look
you'd have
like.
to ask
isn't
your
it?
mom, I guess.
Yeah. I basically looked just like Judah when he was a baby. Like he was like a replica.
A replica?
A replica. Yeah.
So I think I did another one. Trying to remember. It only works with 2 tracks. So
Jimmy just gets cut out.
no, it won't even, you can't even try it if there's
Oh.
the 3 of us.
Gotcha.
It doesn't give an option. Yeah, here is, I think this is the test. Oh yeah, here's another one. Oh yeah, and I did some different ones. I did this one. Okay. Here is another, I'll screen share this one too. All right. All right, screen share. Here we go.
Yep.
So I was talking to Clint today, and he said, "Did you know that Jihu just released a new album. And I was like, no, I did not know that, but that's kind of neat. Uh, and he was like, yeah, apparently the last time he was back home, which would be like Korea, I think, he and a bunch of his friends got together and recorded an album, and it's on Spotify, and it's called Room 405, and it's a Korean like Christian album.
Nice.
It's yeah, it's kind of
Have you
crazy.
listened to it?
Some of it, yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
yeah. Okay,
Who's Jehu?
Those are some solid
the guys
beards.
from our church. Yeah, they are real nice beards. Okay, there was another one that I just did that exact same clip in the baby. I think that's all I did. Let me look, because there's like 9 or 10 filters you can put on it. But anyway, it's sort of an option. Not really, because there's 3 of us pretty much
Yeah.
all the time. Um, but back to the clips. I have posted shorts from the podcast before. Not very many of them though. But yeah, whenever I do the editing, I just hit the auto generate clips, and then
It'll
you
just
can
select from
sometimes it
somewhere.
has decent ones. The last time I was doing it, yeah, it just like tries to decide what would be a good little clip. The last time I was doing it, I was gonna post one, but the auto generated clip was weird, so I would needed to go back in and recut it, do it myself, and I just didn't, because it started in a weird place and ended in a weird place.
Mhm.
I don't know why. Apparently, Riverside's AI is still in process.
Oh, different subject, but Jim's, how's your poppy's liver, kidney?
It didn't work out.
Hmm.
So
Same as last time, or
no, it never got to the transplant phase.
oh,
I don't know any of the details, but basically they had to give the kidneys to someone else. I don't know.
somebody made it higher on the list than him.
Yeah, but
It happens.
yeah, I don't know how all that stuff works, but basically he didn't.
But somebody did get the kidney.
Somebody else got the kidneys, as far as I know. So, yeah, nothing happened.
I don't know enough about that. Can you actually specify who gets a kidney from you?
Can, according to my mom, she said you can. So once again, I don't know how it works, but in this scenario, lady died, and I guess it was her kids that said, we want to give the kidneys, or one of the kidneys, to my dad. And so then the doctors were like, okay, well then as they started going through all the checklist of whatever, they were like, oh, well, these are kind of already spoken for, type of thing. So I don't know how.
So she was already a donor then, before they said that, apparently.
I believe so.
It wasn't just like we've decided to do this.
Right. So yeah, it's probably one of those things where she died, she was a donor, and I would assume as soon as someone dies and that stuff, the ball gets rolling on who the people are going to receive the organs pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
So I guess that had already started before my dad's name got in the mix, type of thing.
Yeah. So he's just on dialysis all the time? Is that what that
Yeah, he's on
boils
dialysis
down
all
to?
the time.
Like at a house? Or is it he goes to a place and does it?
It changes, and I don't know what he's currently doing. Sometimes it's at home, and sometimes it's in the clinic. He's been on dialysis, I think, for 8 years now.
Oh, I didn't realize that. It's a long time.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah, my mom says that most people that are on dialysis don't live more than 10 years while on dialysis.
Because it tears you, it like just letting your levels get high and then dropping them of your toxins and everything.
I think that's part of it. And then
It just beats you down, right?
Super susceptible to all kinds of infections all the time.
Yeah.
And he's continually fighting something off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just bad luck, or was he like a drinker, or what was the?
I think just bad luck.
Or I guess that's usually liver, not kidney.
That would be liver, yeah. Yeah, he, I don't know, had just kidney failure of some kind.
My dad did too. Never went on dialysis though, as far as I know. Drank a lot of apple juice and cranberry juice.
Yeah.
To compensate?
It's made up medical practices of my father. That's what it was. Yeah. So.
Well.
Oh yeah, I got that gnat.
The story that
So
now.
How's the house, Dan?
Well, it rained all day today, so I went and cleaned the Airbnb.
Wait, what?
Dude, it rained from down here. It rained like.
What story were you about to start into?
Oh, I don't know. What?
Okay.
I thought you asked me something.
I thought I interrupted you.
Oh.
I know, but I interrupted you.
Oh, I was telling my uncle Brian about the story, and he's like, "Are you ever going back to that church?" Because I would not, ever. And I was like, "Well," it's like I told we had small group with the pastor yesterday, Sunday, and I told him about it. And he's like, I saw it going down on the live feed on Facebook, and I was flabbergasted. And his wife's like, he was angry. I was like, well, yeah, I could imagine that's an appropriate response. He's like, he's like, there's so many little things that I'm in generous mode right now, so I'm trying to be as generous with what I'm saying as possible. He basically said there's a lot of little things that
because you also have said the name of the church in this one too.
Yeah, I have. There's just a
So
lot
AI
of little
is probably already shooting this to
quirky
the
things.
Facebook
Yeah,
group.
And they don't realize that they've. I don't know if he said this or if it was just kind of like the tone of the conversation. I think churches don't even realize that they've become like a community club, not a church. Like when you get to a certain point, you've been around for 100 years, and everything you do is more like, well, we do this Mother's Day thing, and it takes like 30 minutes of the service. We do this Memorial Day thing, and it takes all the service. We do this, and like every holiday is more like you're gathering as the community to commemorate the holiday, more than just like we're here for worship, and like we might say something about the holiday because it falls on the day, but we're not here celebrating the holiday.
What
right?
about Christmas
Mhm.
or Easter?
We cancel on Christmas for sure.
And the Super Bowl.
Well, Easter's a little different because we actually have two services on Easter. We have a community service, a sunrise service, and then we have a regular service. And there's like an hour in between. So they do the community service. Easter's a little more on point though than most of our national holidays in this country. No, but in all seriousness, like it really, like, as you step back from something like that and you think about like what is it that you're used to versus, like, okay, you guys have been going to Antioch for how long, Jimmy?
Since 1997.
So 97. So you are close to 30 years at this point. Like 20,
No,
what's that? 27?
28 years.
28 years. Okay. You're getting close to, you're going to get
We're
get a
22.
plaque. You're going to get a plaque. You've been there you've been there for how long, Darcy? 22 years?
22 years.
22 years. Okay. So how much of what goes on at a church as a religious organization, and not that I don't have to take all of the rest of the time of the podcast talking about this, but like I've been thinking about it a lot after that service. How much of the service is actually like resembles, is commissioned by, is like in lockstep with Christianity as defined by Christ, versus just things that you do as a Antioch Bible, is it Bible Baptist? Is that the way?
Yep.
Antioch Bible Baptist,
Yeah.
Bible Church, Baptist Church, American Church, Midwestern Church, like go all the layers out that all speak into what you do at church with the people, etc. And then like actually, like can you like put on the scale and go, this is Christianity and this is church? Do you know what I'm saying? And like how much of it is like the same, like inseparable? Do you ever think about that? Like Jesus never went to a church service like your church service, guaranteed.
You don't think so?
No, I know so. And how much of it is just like, it's just cultural, and how much of it is like, I should at the very least not be like, very like tied to a lot of this stuff, because most of it isn't really like the definition of Christianity.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like
would you
it shouldn't
say,
be allowed necessarily, but
what would you say if what
I'm
do you
asking the
think that it looked
questions.
like when Jesus went to synagogue?
I think that when Jesus went to synagogue, he had lots to say about how religious it was, and how religious it had become, and how not like
So
worship it was.
has there ever been, do you think there has ever been a church, a gathering of believers that was true to Christianity.
I think that your church is named after the closest early church that at least came the closest to being commended, like across the board, for being true to what it was about, right? Wasn't it Antioch that was commended for not straying from her first love? Is that right?
Mhm.
Am I remembering that
Sounds
correctly?
right.
You didn't call yourselves the Church of Corinth or the Church of Laodicea. There ain't a lot of Laodicea,
Right.
the church Laodicea,
First Laodicean church.
the first Laodicean church of America. Oh,
Start one, Dan.
Laodicean Bible, Laodicean lukewarm Baptist church.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I think that. Well, like, what would you say? So you answer my question first, and then I'll answer, because I do have an answer. But like, in a percentage, how much of your church service do you think is is aligned perfectly with the New Testament, like, vision of the church, versus just like extracurricular stuff, versus like it's, I'm not even saying like bad, but like a good representation of the early church, of Christianity as it should be, the gathered church, that part of it.
I
mean-
don't guess that I can, like, I don't think I have an informed answer for that.
What?
You know what I mean?
You actually graduated from Bible
What?
college, bro.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, but do you know who taught the early church class at that school?
I don't remember.
Think of the, well, I'll
Early
just say
church.
it. Think of the person that you, is called church history. Actually, what I took was American church history.
Oh,
So
American church
it's
history.
not early enough.
Was it Penner?
But no,
No.
Dr.
Oh.
Anderson.
Dr. Anderson. I never had to take a class with Dr. A,
So
to be perfectly honest with you. I
yeah,
wasn't there long enough.
that's because that's the only one he taught.
Okay. So
But I guess
to me, it matters very
Pauline
little what the
epistles
church in
with Dr.
America.
Ryder.
Yeah. Okay. Like even expanding, like even expanding out to the early church, Acts, for instance. So there are only two things technically that are religious ceremonies or rites of the New Testament.
Okay.
And they are, each of the class members can pick one. What are they? There are literally only two.
Okay.
Go.
You're talking about baptism,
Baptism
and communion.
and communion. That's it.
So
There
is
are
that
two
all
sacraments.
church ever should be?
No, that's my point. That's the only two things that are like in stone, like that are enshrined in the early church. There's gathering, like, but gathering, like, we're gathered right now, technically anything from what we're doing right now to
Mhm.
what you do at church categorically could be in that gray area of what it means to gather, right? Like, so that's not
This
very
is not your average
sacramental.
church right here.
This is not your, yeah, this is the, what's it, the Sunday evening, no, what's the church
You
service you
talking
guys go
about
to at the jazz
the
church?
Gospel Lounge?
Gospel Lounge. Okay.
Gospel Lounge.
Reverend
Okay.
Carl Butler's Gospel Lounge.
So then you have prayer, which is not a sacrament. It is in fact, prayer in multiple different places is commended to be a private issue. Like Jesus is very clear that you should not be making big prayers in public to draw attention to yourself.
Would you say that in a congregation of believers that categorizes as public?
Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're like getting into a debate about the theology of it, it's really, the question isn't like where and when, it's what's your intention with your prayer.
Right.
Like, I don't think that praying
Because when Jesus talks
congregationally,
about praying in public, he also
right,
is saying that guy, his heart is not right
exactly.
at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't
So
the fact that he was praying, because the other guy was praying in the same room.
right. So you have prayer, which isn't a sacrament, but it is
Right.
obviously
It is a
commended by
command. A
Scripture.
command.
You have gathering, which again isn't a sacrament, and the details of gathering are very, like, I mean, if
What
you
about
look
a
at
prayer gathering?
the prayer gathering is like, there you go. It's like, it's another way of doing prayer and gathering. And then you, like, despite your theological background in college, there was healing, and prophesying, and things, sign gift type stuff that was going down. But even that stuff got abused and they got, reprimanded for their use of these things. But literally, like, what else is there that is like, that should be, if as it were, a sacred cow, but in a good way? Is there anything that you just are like, no, this is how you should do it?
What about teaching and studying?
Yeah, there's
Like
one, but
opening the
but
scriptures.
teaching again is like, is there a format for teaching necessarily that's like good? Like, this is the right way to teach, this is the wrong way to teach, exegetically versus, topically. Like, is it like, I have my opinions about it, but it's not a, like, I wouldn't ever sit in a service if a guy was doing this. So you got teaching, that should be part of a gathering. You've got prayer. You have worship, which could be, it could be verbal or it could be song.
Which hopefully is all of it.
And then you have the sacraments. Theoretically, you should do the baptism once ever in your life, publicly. And then you have communion. And it seems to be commended in the New Testament that it is, as oft as ye are together and eating, remember me in my death, burial, and resurrection. And we don't do that by and large. Do you guys do
You
communion
do.
every week? We do, but we do this really weird little shot glass communion thing. I told you about that. Like, we do it kind of weird and kind of Western, Like, even communion, we don't really like if you got the people at any like shot glass church that's been around for 50 or 100 years together, and you were like, we're going to do communion more like they did it in the New Testament. Oh my goodness, there would be a revolt in many places if you took away the little shot glasses. Guaranteed. The little gold trays that they pass around with all the little holes in them. You remember those? We have those.
Ours are silver.
Yours are silver. Oh, do you guys use those for real?
Yeah.
Oh, we used to.
Wait,
We stopped at COVID.
what do you do now? Just have a little basket of the little cap topped off ones, or what?
That's just sitting at the chair waiting for us.
They're all on the chairs.
Oh, so they're an open. You guys are a legitimately open communion church. Like, person doesn't even have to accept or deny it. He could just pocket it if he wants to.
Could pocket it, yeah.
Could pocket it.
I do sometimes. I've got a whole bunch of them in the truck.
Little snack for later.
Darcy likes to take communion every week, so he takes them home with him.
Take a bunch with you.
They when we do communion at our church, the pastor talks about it and always says we practice a semi-open communion, meaning if you profess belief in Christ, you are welcome to take communion with us.
Yeah.
You do not have to be a member of this church. But if you don't know what I'm talking about and wouldn't call yourself a believer, then just sit back and watch. This is
Just
one of
leave
the
it-
things that we do
Just
here.
leave it sitting there. Yeah. No, so like it wasn't like a week of like pondering it all week or anything like that, but having the conversation again on Sunday with the pastor, kind of getting his take on it, and just kind of rethinking. And then I don't think it's so much like rethinking, like, well, like here's another thing that happened that same Sunday. One of the high school girls was like, "Oh, I just love it whenever you perform. It's like a concert."
Mm.
And I was like, "Yeah, you should sing with me. I'm trying to do modern songs. You should sing." "Oh, I just like to just sit there and listen to you sing." And I'm like, "Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I would appreciate you singing too. I would appreciate you participating in worship." And like, to some extent, because of some of the requests that I've gotten, like for instance, someone asked if I would do I Can Only Imagine the other day.
Nice.
And I was like thinking,
Do it.
has that ever been done as a worship song on a Sunday ever by anyone?
I'm sure it has.
You think so?
You mean like, heck yeah. I
For real?
guarantee you that has been done in churches. Oh yeah.
Dude,
Dude, that
for
thing
worship.
was so
Not
popular for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that like, is it even like a worship song?
It can be. Anything can be.
Well,
I've seen
now you're asking. Now you're meddling, Dan.
it.
I just like to know what I'm singing on stage, on stage, like standing behind an altar at a worship service. I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine. Face for me. I can only imagine. Yeah.
I am Darcy.
Surrounded by.
Maybe
This is not a worship. This is not a worship song. This is just a song about dying, or about what happens maybe after you die.
maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but
Darcy did
I
it
don't
at
think
church.
I
Is
am.
that what you're saying?
No, a guy, a guy at our church did it one time as I think
Special music.
it might have been a special music thing. It might have been a congregational thing. I don't remember, but I do remember it being sang in our church.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to singing
We
it.
did a song for a while.
I just don't think it's a congregational worship
We did a
song.
song for a while. Oh man, there was this one song that we did 3 or 4 times, and
Before you
every
figured out
time
it
it would
wasn't a
come up
worship
on
song?
the service. No, every time it would come up on the service plan, I'd be like, we haven't figured this out yet. Why are we doing this song again?
Haven't
It was
figured
like
it
a
out yet.
Building 429 song or something like that.
You haven't figured out how to perform it?
Yeah, it was not a congregational song. No. Like, how are we still doing this? Why are we still adding this to our service plan as a congregational song? It's like, yeah, I can't remember what it was.
I'm also not necessarily like completely opposed to doing songs that are not. Whoa. I'm not opposed to doing songs that are
What?
not worship. I don't know. I just heard a lot of commotion there.
Anytime you adjust your earpiece, Darcy, it gets real loud out here.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It felt like it was getting loose.
It was kind of like,
Yeah, like that.
like I know that some people are really against, like your guy is probably really against doing a song like that's more of like a prayer. I'm trying to think of a song that it would fall into this category that wouldn't be sacrilegious to bring up in your presence. But like I'll just use okay, Oceans, for instance, right? Oceans is not a worship song.
Yeah, we don't do anything by that.
You won't do that.
Right. I know, but like I can't think of that many other songs that are like clearly this is not a worship song, but it does fall into the category of like a psalm. And if you ran it against the psalms, like there's psalm like themes throughout the entire song, right? And you wouldn't say we can't read a psalm in church if it's not a worship psalm, because not every psalm is like has the exact same intention, right?
Right.
So
but you don't approve of our psalm thing anyway, though.
Of your, what is your psalm thing? Remind me.
Because we're currently on Psalm 40. Well, we just did Psalm 41 last week because we're into our summer in the Psalms, and we'll finish the Psalms in 8 more years.
And wait, and what do? You make up tunes and sing all the psalms or something?
Oh, that's our sermon series for the
Oh,
summer.
your summer psalm sermon series.
Yeah.
I don't disapprove of that
Summer
necessarily.
Psalm sermon series.
Summer psalm sermon series.
Summer of
Do you
Psalms.
do a summer solstice psalm on summer solstice?
Summer
Yep.
solstice.
Solstice psalm?
Maybe.
I don't have anything against that. I mean, yeah, I do have like a quasi against, if you will, against doing really bad, poorly written songs just because the lyrics of them are psalms. I do have something against that.
Are you okay with people that don't know how to sing singing them though?
Oh, it's better that way. Because like it's better because like if you have a really good vocalist, they can make something seem like it's a thing.
Right.
And then you try to do it and it's like, no, that's not a thing that people should sing. You know?
I hear good songs that are sang by people that don't know how to sing, and I think, that's not a good song.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like if you get a really good vocalist, like I have been doing this song, I've done it a couple times by this lady that's a pretty good vocalist, and then I like hear other people sing it with me, and I'm like, oh, that's really raggedy sounding whenever average people sing it. You know what I mean?
What song?
I'd have to look it up. Here, I'll look it up. You probably wouldn't have ever even
Why
heard
don't
it.
you
It's
just sing it
probably,
for us, Dan?
Yeah,
it's
just
probably
sing
from your like list of band songs.
From the unapproved songs.
It's probably an
Look at
unapproved.
that. I haven't busted this out in a while.
Dude, I haven't had that in forever. I don't even have any of that at my house.
You don't?
Nope.
I have some at my house.
All out.
Not to stop the church conversation, but I was thinking that potentially what we could do, at least for a little while, is on Tuesday nights when it's podcast time, I go over to Jimmy's house and we podcast whilst Jimmy and I are building out his basement bar.
Hey,
because we get some hours of work in.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go grab my guitar. You want to hear me actually sing this? I'll sing
Yeah,
it.
I for sure do.
Heck yeah.
Let's see what Dan's got stacked over in the corner over there. Is that some flooring, maybe?
Yeah. Just flooring.
Flooring
Dude.
and flooring accessories?
Look at this.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. My dad's case did that same thing.
I'm actually, the more I sing, the more curious I am how things sound through systems, because I think that I think it sounds pretty bad through our sound system
at church. So I'm gonna actually listen to this podcast and see how bad this sounds between my ears being plugged.
I'll upload it as a short.
There you go. This is definitely not a song you guys would ever do because this is Bethel. This is like totally sacrilegious. Wow, I shouldn't have jumped into this. Can you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that close enough?
Sure.
I haven't sang in like a week.
Some people I've heard on the internet.
2 weeks. So it won't be like listening to Darcy sing on a Sunday morning. Grander earth is quake before. You ever hear this? Moved by the sound of his voice. The seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken from my regard. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And through it all, it is well. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And it is well. You ever hear that?
I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah.
Who is
I'm trying
it?
to think who sings it.
I've only ever heard this one chick that nobody has ever heard of singing.
What's the name of the song?
It's called It As Well. So let go my soul and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. So let go, my soul, and trust in Him. The waves and wind still know His name. The waves and wind still know His name. It is well with my soul. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah, maybe it's just Bethel that I've heard. Kristen DeMarco.
Kristen DeMarco, yeah.
With Bethel music. Devil worshippers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there you go. What's your guys' take on what I've said? Like your legitimate take, not devil's advocate, your actual. Like, do you think that I've communicated my opinion, even though my opinion isn't like very strong? It's just that there's, I think there's a lot of things that we do and have as sacred cows that are like the reading of the list, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you guys do it too, apparently. So
Yeah. We do all kinds of things that I don't
ours
always agree with.
only takes like 2 minutes.
2 minutes wasted right there. You take 2 minutes and you multiply that by all the churches that do it. No, I'm sorry. That was too hard.
Okay. What if? Okay, hold on. What if that was done on a different Sunday?
Yeah, like the day of like the Sunday that's dedicated to the celebration of the dead people. That Sunday,
Or like New
Or-
Year's?
or like New Year's, and we could sing.
Then would it be okay to do?
Dude, I would play the video and I would sing Old Lang Syne over the video congregationally. That's what I would do right there on New
And that
Year's
would-
Eve.
And that would be
The special New Year's
Good.
Eve remembrance service for everyone who died in 2025, including famous people, anybody you want on there. And we will sing Old Lang Syne,
uh-huh.
as long as it takes to play the list. And anybody who wants to come knows that that's what they're coming for. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Are we down with
Something
that?
like that.
Yeah.
We'll do it on our podcast.
We'll play the video of all the names and then
Yeah.
we'll sing that.
Now we'll just have to list it ourselves. I don't think
Read
we'll
it.
have a video.
Some of us will read it, and
Just
some of us will sing the song.
We'll just say Rob Mock. I can't think of anybody else.
How do you even say
singing.
Old Lang Syne?
That'll be our
I don't know.
It's Auld, AULD, I think, or ALD.
Langed
Auld
Syne.
Lang, LAN.
Lang Syne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern Auld Lang Syne lyrics. There's a Christian version of it where they
Is
use
there?
the tune.
How Christian?
Red Letter, probably. Mars Hill Church.
So
in the, like,
should be sang in the churches.
Not Christian enough for our church, I'm sure.
oh, it's for sure Christian enough for your church.
So
Yeah.
like somewhere it's not communion, but up there with prayer.
Yeah. For sure. Wait, I missed something. All glory be to Christ.
The
That's what it's
Christian
called.
version of this song.
All glory be to Christ. It's from
Oh
the
yeah,
the
they
gospel
do it at
coalition.
my kid's church,
Oh, do they? Okay.
at my kid's church school. Yeah,
King's Kaleidoscope.
yeah.
Yeah. We should do it I should do it at our church sometime. People be
You know
like,
what? We maybe have done it at our church.
How's it go?
it's the same tune as that, and it's a, should nothing of our efforts stand, no legacy survive. Yeah.
Sorry, did it again. All glory be to Christ, our King. All glory be to Christ. His
I actually
rule and
like it.
reign will ever sing. All glory be to Christ.
I'm glad that
I feel like we
reminded.
have done that at our church.
Huh?
I'm glad I reminded me of that. I'm gonna put
You
it on
think
my
we
list.
have?
I feel like we have. I don't know
We
if it's
maybe
been
have.
since Clint's been here.
Oh, he would totally do it, wouldn't he?
I have no idea what he would do. And
Maybe. I don't know.
I already have it saved. All right. Oh, dude, but I do not like chord changes. I don't know. Do you guys do a lot of chord changes?
You mean key changes?
Key changes.
No, we rarely do.
It definitely doesn't work with my foot pedal thing unless I pre-program it for it.
Oh, really?
I mean, if you just have to program it as the key change has to be the next song on your set list. So you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just have to find your pedal and switch to your next one. But anyway.
So you
you never did
see
say
those guys
you
do
never
that
did
song
say.
in person?
Oh, are they playing locally here? I'd go see them. I
At the
kind of thought they were
Truman,
fun.
October,
Really?
King's Kaleidoscope. Yeah.
I think I missed that one.
October 29th.
Dude, you know the song I like by him, by the lead singer, is an Easter song that's like, what it's called, One Righteous Man. Have you guys ever heard that?
I don't know.
Dude, you should push for doing that on Easter. Get everybody, including your cello lady, up there. Dude, you've never heard that?
Dan,
Yeah.
it has a good cello part.
It has a good everything part. We should play it right now. Let me pull it up here.
Oh, daggum.
Have you heard it? I wonder if I
Oh
could
no,
just pull
but
it up on.
I just typed in Kings.
Yeah.
I typed in Kings, and it filled in Kaleidoscope Controversy.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah, and it says that there's the Expression song from Chad Gardner
The
and
what
King's
song?
Kaleidoscope. Explicit,
Oh yeah. Okay.
because he drops the F-bomb in one of their songs.
Oh wow, we can never do that at our church then.
I lost you guys. Oh, I can
you're
see
still-
us.
You did?
You're still here, Dan?
Yeah, we see ya.
I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. Let's see. Is this the original? Okay. Let me pull this down here. Pull this. I want to see you guys. Where are you guys at? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do the recorded version here. See if it'll happen. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay. Then I go
No.
share. Wait. Share screen. Share. Are we there?
Okay.
All we
Oh,
like
yeah,
to
got that.
see
Yep.
have gone our own way and distanced ourselves from our only help. One righteous man, God's perfect plan to pay for our guilt, tear down what we've built, seek his face. Nothing would catch you at all.
You hear the cello kids start coming in there?
The world that he loved despised him, this man of sorrows. First he's betrayed, then taken away. His friends turn their backs and hang by their necks. Silent he goes, as one who knows, despite any plea, the verdicts will be guilty as charged. Now beat him till no one can tell who he once was, then hang up his body with nails.
Will we get a copyright strike for this?
Probably.
Maybe.
Oops.
I don't really know how that works out. I mean, it's on YouTube.
But we're also doing
I'll
color
pull up
commentary
YouTube
on
and
it.
see if.
It's still rolling on YouTube.
Yeah.
So like I
Wait,
I
what?
think it's a cool song, right? But then like
Uh-huh.
let me pull up the original, like the live version.
All we like.
Do you guys have our stream up on YouTube?
I do.
Oh, dadgum. We got
1,000 viewers.
we got comments.
Do what? Sorry.
We got comments.
Oh yeah, from Trevor.
Yeah,
What's the commenter say?
he started it out, but there's two other guys too.
He probably has people that he's playing a game with that are also watching us.
Somebody just commented,
last week.
"I'm just here for the copyrighted music."
Yes.
Yeah, we're about to get shut down probably.
Probably.
Oops, and I spelled welcome wrong. Oh well.
How do you even do that?
I missed the E on the end.
Oh.
Here, I retracted it. I'll do it again.
Yeah, before I did let AI do all of my spelling for me, I made errors 100% of the time on my spelling.
100% of the time, every word.
What about your name? How
I
you
can
do on that?
misspell my name. Oh, I can misspell my name. I don't even know if I don't
Hit
even
or-
know
hit
if
or
I'm
miss.
spelling my name right now.
Uh,
This
uh,
last weekend.
somebody named Josh wants to know
Yeah.
how long the beards have been growing. Yeah.
Jim's probably working on the longest, right? At about
2008 is the year
What is,
I
you got
started.
like 17 years on that thing then.
without a trim.
2008.
February 2008.
I have to say, Jimmy, I feel like there was a couple years where it was bigger than it is these days.
It was not gray like this gray
Maybe it's just the
patch here.
gray. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like when it was darker, it seemed bigger.
yeah. I thought maybe you needed to get your testosterone checked or something. Maybe.
I mean, I'm 46, so
I
it's
probably cut
Yeah.
an inch off of mine the other night.
You know, I don't know how this comes across, but anytime, like, I don't get beard comments hardly ever, but about every time I get a beard
Yeah.
comment, I've just trimmed it. And I literally just trimmed my beard like a week ago. And the dude was like, "Hey, how long you been growing that beard?" I'm like, well, I just trimmed it yesterday. And they laugh. They think I'm joking that I just trimmed it yesterday. It's happened to me multiple times. I'm like you, yeah, I just cut an inch off of it. Like,
Yeah, I
I'm
could
not-
cut mine off right here, and it would still be pretty big.
yeah, for real.
Sometimes I
Dan,
put
does one of your aunts say that people with beards look unintelligent?
My mom says all kinds of things about me look unintelligent. So
Your mom,
probably my mom.
Trevor said one of your aunts says people with beards look unintelligent. Your mom just says you look unintelligent?
My mom always says
No.
that Trevor is her most handsome son. She doesn't know how that makes the rest of us feel
Oh.
at all.
I thought
To
you
be
said she always says Trevor looks unintelligent.
No, she's always contended that he was the most handsome son. It's because the only thing that's good about him, he has this like really nice sharp jawline. I mean, nothing negative. The rest of his face looks just like the rest of our faces.
The only
But
thing
he's just got this nice jawline, you know, it's like sharp and
Defining
the only
jawline.
thing
It's
good
funny.
Yeah.
about Trevor is his jawline.
yeah. I kind of know what's so good about a good jawline.
Oh man.
That's why you got to cover yours up with that beard.
I mean, like, I don't know if he'll comment on this, but it's been since he was like 2. I was like, how do you even know how good this kid's gonna look? Like she just spoke his attractiveness into existence or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you know,
You think Trevor's better looking than Drew?
Mom thinks he is. He is. I have no opinion. I mean,
Oh,
every
man.
time I see one of my brothers that I haven't seen in a minute, I think we look more and more alike. Like, I always thought Andrew and the rest of us looked totally different. Like I always was like, David and Andrew don't look like the rest of us. And then, like, as we get older, I'm like, oh man, we all look like, it's no wonder people have always been like, you guys all look the same, because we kind of do.
Trevor said it's the belly.
It's the belly. It's the belly.
Oh yeah. Ah, good.
Well,
Oh.
it is almost 11, guys. That one where we went to like
Mhm.
midnight plus the other day, that was a little much for
Mhm.
me.
That kicked my butt. The next
But you
day.
guys have
I
still
was gonna
failed
say,
to
I
give
thought-
your opinion.
I thought you were going to
on
say
the
you liked
subject.
it.
Mm-mm.
You've still failed to give your opinion.
Okay, refresh the question.
The church things that church does. Your opinion about the if you have one, about the efficacy of how much the church actually resembles the the prescriptive part of the Bible and how much of it matters to you, or that it does or doesn't.
I don't know that I've thought about that much.
Well, so if there are only two things that are prescribed
Hmm.
and then a few things that are modeled,
Hmm.
I mean, how can we, I mean, what do we take our, I mean, there are plenty more things that are kind of, there are plenty other things that are implied, I would say. And so I think that, I think that Antioch does a pretty good job. I actually was watching this girl talking about churches a couple weeks ago, and she said, if your church is 20 minutes into the sermon time before they open the Bible, maybe you should be like wondering about that.
Yeah.
And which made me think, and her point was so many sermons are fluffy and story, like
Yeah.
there's this big draw, like the point of the sermon is to draw you into this personal experience so that then they can share with you something. Um, was where she was going with it,
Yeah.
instead of just opening the Bible and studying.
She was being facetious about the
And
20-minute
so
mark.
I kind of facetious. I don't know that she was.
Oh,
Uh, I should try
I
to
wasn't
find.
just
I think
using
I
it as
followed
a.
her.
Yeah, but how would she know? She's a
I'll
girl.
find it.
How would she know? She's a girl. She's not supposed to be talking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll find that, and I'll find that clip and send it to you. But
Okay.
anyway, what it did is it made me pay attention to our services this last, month or whatever.
You're like
And
stopwatch. Time.
yeah, I mean,
21 minutes.
so we have time frames. That's not very biblical, right?
Right.
Like we start at a certain time and we end at a certain time. So, copyright. Um, if the so that that's not biblical. Having time constraints on a service or a gathering or whatever. Uh, but that's just like societal, I guess. Uh, but our sermon segment of the time is the largest portion, and our pastors all go immediately to the scripture. So as far as like our church on a Sunday morning, we don't have a ton of just like weirdness, I don't think. Obviously we played that video that you didn't like, Dan.
I don't.
And we do
I'm used to it though.
we do, we do, you're used to it. We do play some videos like on Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's silly, from the skit guys. I think that's what those guys are called. You know what I'm talking about? Jesus didn't have videos, silly videos.
Oh, but he had a sense of humor, as far as I can tell.
He would have totally opened up.
From looking at Trevor's jawline.
10 minutes of jokes.
Wait.
I 100% see. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Are you reading through comments?
Yeah, I'm reading some comments.
Oh, here we go. I think that's a big part of the church's problem. Oh, daggone, my screen just blanked out.
Wait,
I
what?
think that's a big part of the church's problem as far as the sermon. When did this become the church? Yeah, I think this. I don't know who Plastic Dwarf is.
It's probably a girl. Can't even listen
Is
to
it
it.
somebody that we know?
Probably a girl, so you can't listen to her, Jimmy.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, it's I lost my train of thought now. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
I'm laughing because it's Trevor.
You guys weren't.
It's
You guys
Trevor,
weren't paying
guys.
Well,
He's
yeah.
having both halves of the conversation. Oh man. Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, so Jimmy, your thoughts on it. What's your take?
I don't know. I've never
'Cause I
really
mean-
thought about it.
Because I mean, you go to the
No,
church you
it's
go
not Trevor.
to. Oh, it's
you
not.
said who's Trevor?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Got it. So
obviously it's
maybe
not
it's
because of
maybe it's
that.
Beth. It's definitely not. Definitely not Trevor.
No, it's because he doesn't know who Trevor is.
Doesn't know who Trevor is. So you go to the church you go to, and I guarantee you, if you visited a church, because of the things that you do at your church, you would walk away from some other random church and be like, that was weird,
Mhm.
right? So you do have an opinion, you just don't know it yet.
Sure.
Yeah, right?
Well, so
But that was
But-
weird because I think in my head what we do is church, or is it I think it's right. I think what we do is right. You see what I'm at? Like,
I don't. I hope, and I don't, and I've talked to Jimmy about other churches, and so I'm pretty certain actually. But I don't think that. I think all three of us aren't really like that. Aren't like we're doing it correctly, and other people, if it's different than us, it's probably not quite right. Because like Jimmy came back from Wisconsin saying it was different, and I kind of enjoyed it rather than it was weird. You know.
yeah.
Because that church was quite a bit different than Antioch, right?
Yeah, quite
That
a
you
bit.
guys
But
went to out there.
also kind of similar. They did have a woman pastor, which made it different than our
Which
church.
is similar in what way?
The church was similar in just the way it overall functioned. Like it had a similar vibe to our church, but
Okay.
they did the baptism thing we talked about whenever that was, where they went out to the lake and dunked people in the river, in the water. They had a woman pastor, which our church does not, and I don't even think our church would allow a woman pastor.
No.
So yeah.
Probably against your doctrinal statement, most likely. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, more evidence that it's not Trevor. Plastic Dwarf said that Dan guy sounds smart. Trevor wouldn't say that, would he?
No, Trevor would never say
No,
that.
Trevor wouldn't say that. Well, I mean, like
Trevor
if the
knows
guy
better.
says, and yeah, if the guy says it's unlikely that if Plastic Dwarf Warlord says something like it's unlikely that this Trevor guy is more handsome than Dan, then we know it's not Trevor, for sure.
100%.
Oh,
100% at that
there
point.
we go. Yeah.
Unless it's Trevor talking about trying to give you a compliment after you gave him a chin compliment or a jawed compliment.
No, he wouldn't do that. He would not be caught dead doing that.
Yeah.
He likes his position as the handsome
Obviously,
guy. Who wouldn't? Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. He says, I think that's a clue.
oh, my little bunny rabbit back there is getting feisty. Hearing it scratching
Yeah.
on the cage. Yeah. Dan, did you know we
Yeah, I saw it on your.
so I would
like
say
I like your short.
I rescued a bunny rabbit, but the flip side of that story is I massacred the rest of the bunny rabbit's family.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
Sometimes to save one, you have to kill the rest
if
of
it
them.
was, is that how it goes?
I was running the brush hog one time up in the field and hit a nest, and these bunnies just like scattered from it. And I just ran out there and it was just like snatching them up. And I had like 4 of them in my arms. And we got them in a box. We got them calmed down. And then we like got them back in their nest. And the next morning I was walking up to the tiny cabin and they were massacred right out of their nest. Yeah. And I didn't even kill any of
Something
them.
ate them.
Oh, yeah. They were just like parts everywhere. Something came along and just like killed them all. I was like, well, that was worth a shot, I guess. But I imagine we spread their scent everywhere by busting up the nest, and then first coyote that walked by was like,
yeah.
Yeah. Or there's probably like baby bunnies. I bet when coyotes are running around this time of year, it's like a little rabbit's nest is like the equivalent of pulling like cookies out of the oven. I mean, like the scent of them is probably just like I bet they run them down fast. And
Have you ever
there's so
seen that
many of them that
statistic on how many fawns a coyote eats each spring on average?
Fawns? No. Is it a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look that up.
Yeah.
Talking mythical fawns, or are we talking deer fawns?
Well, I think I didn't look into that part of the statistic, but I assumed that it was deer fawns. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a good question, though.
I saw a video of a coyote eating a fawn on a golf course.
Whoa! A
19?
single adult coyote can kill between 15 and 25 fawns per year, depending on the local deer density and availability of other food sources. Spring and early summer coyotes often focus on
pretty
fawns
sure
because they're easy prey. Predation.
I was pretty sure the average was like 19, but I second guessed myself and I didn't say it out loud because whenever I thought about it, I was like, man, that is a high number.
ChatGPT probably just picked 15 to 20 because 19 is dead smack between 15 to 20 or something.
A little closer to 20.
In low density regions where other food sources are plentiful, like rabbits, rodents, and livestock, the number may drop closer to 10 to 15. Wow.
Pretty
That's
wild,
nuts.
huh?
I would never have guessed that. So basically what you're saying is like, it's kind of like hawks. If you want to just take a fawn and raise it and it dies, it's kind of no big deal because most of them are getting killed anyway. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm amazed that any deer are around here if it's that much.
What percentage of fawns survive, do you think? Look that up.
I just said what percent of fawn survive 1 year. $10 to 30% survive a year.
Dang.
Daggone.
That's wild. Moderate survival areas balanced with balanced ecosystems and decent cover, 30 to 50% survive. High survival areas,
Okay, because
low
yeah, I
predation,
just
low pressure, great cover, managed hunting, predator control, 50 to 70%. Well, I'll tell you this: when we
I
had
just
that
looked
little
it up and it says 45% survive to adulthood.
when we had, well, I'm sure it's still the case, but they built that big complex upstream from our lot there in Belton. And
Mhm.
whenever I would go there, like I haven't been there probably in the last couple springs. I used to go there when we lived in town all the time. I'd just go sit in the treehouse and read a book and drink coffee because it was the only woods I had to go sit in. And every spring there were does that would just leave their fawns wandering around in that little area because it's right in the middle of town, bunch of houses all around, probably just a really lower, like a lot lower likelihood that the coyotes are going to go through there in the middle of the day, maybe. And it had really good cover for like 5 acres of woods. But I'd go every time I'd go in there in the spring, there'd be a fawn and or doe in there, or just a fawn just wandering around by itself in that little wood. So, I would never have guessed that it was that high.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
All right, it's 11:15. We're gonna end up pushing this to
All right.
2 hours if we're not careful. Well, thanks for coming and visiting
should be
us,
careful.
Plastic Dwarf Warlord and Trevor
And John.
Mm-hmm.
and John, whoever you might be.
And Josh.
Or Josh. Yeah,
Josh.
not John. Josh.
Yep.
Maybe it's my friend Josh.
Maybe. Did you tell him we have a podcast?
No.
Okay.
At some point, this is going to become
All right.
epic, and we're going to tell people about it.
Maybe.
I think the people
Probably.
that know about
Yeah.
it, except for Trevor, try to avoid it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what I'm saying. We're going to wait to tell people till it's epic.
Yeah. Jimmy was on the phone with Rory when you came onto the podcast tonight, Dan.
Yeah.
And he still didn't join us. Like he has in the past been a guest on the show.
Yeah, and he still didn't come.
And Jimmy said, "We're about to fire up that podcast," and it wasn't like, "Ooh,
oh, I'm going to jump in with you."
I'll
It's
jump
like,
on that."
oh.
It's like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
I think that the advice you have to keep in mind is no one cares and it's fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right,
All
then.
right.
Another good chat. Is that what we're turning into? The not your average guys talk church and theology.
Oh, did we do that 2 times in a row? Sorry.
We did. I'm not sorry about it.
It's fun.
Well, if I quit going to church because of all this bizarre stuff that happens at it, then we won't have to do that anymore. So, there's always that side of it.
You may have to start up your own church,
Okay.
Dan. That's what some people do.
Just what I need is to start another church.
Yeah.
You could, instead of building that house,
I think the best churches
build
are
a
started
church.
by disgruntled church members.
Oh yeah, for sure. The best.
You could turn
Like the
the
Lutheran church.
you turn that garage space in your new
Like
house
the
into a
Mormon church.
And the Mormon church. Yeah, my garage is about as big as our sanctuary at the church we go to.
There you go.
So, all right.
All right.
How's
That's
it,
that.
guys?
Okay.
See you next time.
See ya.
Laters.